Welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio from Stewards Planning Group. Stewards Planning Group is a company that specializes in helping you build purposeful retirement plans, custom plans that not only help clients steward their treasure, but also their time and talent as well. They believe if you're taken care of financially, you can go even further to make the family, community, and kingdom impact you truly desire to make, which is the ultimate purpose of wealth. If you'd like to set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting with one of their financial advisors, please give them a call at 222-4236. You can request a meeting at stewardsplanning.com, or you can simply stop by their office on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. I'm your host, Ben Taatjes, and many times on this show, I'm joined by one of our advisors. Today, I have Jonathan Shofner in another episode. You were here last week with me. I got to introduce you to our audience. Jonathan, welcome to the show again.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, so we're meeting with a ton of clients right now, and we're into February now, and top of mind for most people is their income tax return. We don't do income tax returns here, but we are able to come alongside clients many times and review their taxes and do tax planning so that we can help them with a tax-efficient retirement plan. Maybe just for our listeners, again, a bit of a reintroduction for you. You actually have some background working with CPAs and helping them integrate really retirement planning into their practice, don't you, from before?
Absolutely. I was helping CPAs find opportunities in their tax book with their clients to focus on financial planning.
Yeah, and that's, whenever we look at our work here, it's not about necessarily what you make, it's about what you keep. And I think that's something that a lot of clients forget is the taxes are a huge part and need to be a huge part of their financial plan. And this is the time of year I talk to so many clients and they get their tax return back, they're done with their CPA, and the question that they ask when they see just how much income they had on the full year is, where did it all go? You look at your bank account, you look at credit card statements, you can look at investment accounts, but if you really want to get a good handle of where your money's going, I think the tax return is a great place to start. I always look at it as certainly a kind of a roadmap for us as advisors to see where the money's going, and if we don't have the tax return, we'll usually ask for it and review it with our client and in conjunction with their CPA. One of the things that, Jonathan, you and I have been talking about a lot of clients is once we see that kind of question come up about where's it all going, we do like to bring up to our clients that they do get a budget. Now, you and I were at a meeting last week, and I said the word budget, and you kind of looked at her, and she did not, the wife here did not like that word so much, because budget for a lot of people is like it's going to put a constraint on us. And you called it something different, didn't you?
I called it a spending plan. I learned early on that budget has such a negative, it's a negative word. So I use spending plan, especially for the wives in the meetings. They enjoy that a lot better. But this is a great time of year to really go back through last year and see where your income went. And then let's build a spending plan for this year. And then let's go ahead and see what kind of financial planning that you can do with that.
Yeah, I love that. And I think so many times we're putting together a lot of financial statements for our tax preparer anyway. You're figuring out where your property taxes were, your various giving to charity, your all your other expenses that some of them do have tax ramifications. So you're partway there already. Why not be able to answer that question of where is my money going? And I think in retirement, and most of our clients are either nearing or in retirement, a lot of clients make that mistake and think, well, I budgeted in the past so I could have a little bit of wiggle room so I could save money. Now, in retirement, I don't need to do that. And that's a huge mistake, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's a lot of expenses that occur in retirement that you don't think about: medical, travel expenses, other things. So I think you probably should plan to spend around the same you did pre-retirement as post-retirement.
Yeah, you're the same person. So when you come from from your working career into retirement, a lot of people live much the same life. They just get to do more of the things they didn't get to do, and that actually can drive more spending. And I think that having an income plan and a spending plan in retirement is actually more important than it was before. So again, if we look at the focus of a pre-retirement income or spending plan, we're going to be saying, here's where my money's going. Now I can direct what's left over into savings. But if I'm a person nearing retirement or certainly in retirement now, I'm looking at here's where my spending is going. Here's what's left over, and I can reassess and say, potentially, I can spend a little bit more. I can give a little bit more to charity. I can, take more trips. A spending plan in retirement gives us the freedom and the boundaries, the flexibility to feel better about what we're spending.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And that's what I've seen in the meetings I've had today in the last week of really going through a spending plan with clients and seeing what we can project for the future.
I love it. I love it. So what I want to make sure our listeners hear is that whether or not you're pre-retirement, you're in retirement, maybe you're close to retirement, understanding where your money's going is extremely important. It may sound too simple, right? I mean, I think people need to be reminded. Is one of my favorite quotes. Samuel Johnson says, people need to be reminded more than they need to be instructed. This may sound like a review today, but I think it's important. I think it's so important that, if we look at money as a tool to accomplish goals, to use for experiences and whatever else we're going to do with our money, you have to first know where it's going, right? You have to understand how much did I take in last year and how much am I spending of that and what do I have left over. So again, that's part of stewardship. And that's why we love at Stewards Planning Group creating a steward's plan where we can really summarize what people have, what they're stewarding, what they need today to live on and in the future. And then usually there's something left over. So from Jonathan, myself, the rest of the team at Stewards Planning Group, until next week, steward well.
Ben Taatjes is a financial advisor at Stewards Planning Group. Securities offered through Cetera Wealth Services, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cetera Investment Advisors, LLC. A registered investment advisor. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity. 1104 19th Avenue Southwest, Wilmer, Minnesota 56201. The views depicted in this material are for information purposes only and are not necessarily those of Cetera Wealth Services, LLC. They should not be considered specific advice or recommendations for any individual. Neither Cetera Wealth Services, LLC nor any of its representatives may give legal or tax advice.